Healing with crystals is an ancient practice. Yet did you know that the essence of gemstones can be used in homeopathy? Spiritual awakening, self-awareness, and intuition are some of the gifts that Gemstone Remedies can bring to your life. Homeopath, teacher, and author Giovanna will show you a different perspective on the healing properties of these magical gemstones. Join us in Gemstones and Crystals in Homeopathy and discover the power of Gemstone Remedies.
Hi, welcome to Gemstones and Crystals in Homeopathy. I'm your host, Giovanna Franklin, and today the title of the show is Gemstones for the Aquarian Age. So I'm going to start from that, and I'm going to explain what I mean. And so I'm going to start with astrology, actually, instead of gemstones, and work my way through that. So I've always been interested in astrology since I was very little. And in fact, if you remember, a couple of shows back, I had Brian Coulter, the evolutionary astrologer, as a guest. And if you haven't seen that episode, I would encourage you to do so. I thought it was quite interesting. And that's when I started to introduce the theme that I'm going to develop a bit more closely tonight, which is the connection between gemstones and astrology. So gemstones have been connected with astrology, with the stars, with the planetary movements for thousands and thousands of years. And the reasoning behind that is that it was felt, and there's a lot of literature, ancient literature about this, it was felt that gemstones, crystals, vibrate at a particular vibration, at a higher vibration compared to ordinary minerals. And planets and the stars too create this energy, this vibrational energy. And so it's a matter of frequency matching the frequency between a particular star, particular planet, and a particular gemstone. And when you think about it, frequency matching is what we do in homeopathy, because what we're dealing with is really energy medicine, plus the awareness that we now have, even from the scientific community, that everything is vibration, everything is frequency. And so this connection between gemstones, crystals, and astrology has been there for a very, very long time. Now, in the last few years, I have become especially aware of how much astrology has helped me personally to, navigate my way through these very interesting times. I'm sure we all feel collectively as well as individually that the last few years have been very, very different, interesting, exciting. Definitely something about the last few years that has changed us individually, at a society level, and astrology has been a great help for me personally. And because of that, my interest in medical astrology, for example, has been reawakened. Years ago, I did a course run by a very good homeopath, a very experienced homeopath and medical doctor in medical astrology. And so all these things now start to make sense in terms of connection. And so I started to think loud and think about how great would it be to combine homeopathy and astrology in a kind of beautiful synergy, and create a powerful and empowering tool that serves the collective and individuals alike, and help us find our true purpose. And this brings me to the concept of illness and health. So according to Edward Bach, who was the biologist and homeopath who created the Bach flower remedies, and he put it beautifully. He used to say that illness is this disconnect between what we're doing and what we're meant to be doing in this life. So when we're not being true to ourselves, to our higher selves, this is when we start to get ill, to get physical symptoms. Homeopathy can help us get back on track in terms of health, from the physical point of view, emotional point of view, psychological. But then astrology can show us the way forward, can show us the map. And then, of course, it's up to us to decide which way to take, because we still have free will, of course. And for me personally, it's really exciting, the idea that I can combine these two passions of mine, crystals and homeopathy and astrology, and put them together. And my idea was to create an interactive course, a group where we can all learn from each other, share knowledge, meditate, and find our way forward, heal ourselves, find our true purpose in life with the help of homeopathy and astrology. So that was my big idea. Okay. So what has the Age of Aquarius got to do with all that? Right. So I'm sure many of you must have heard this expression, the Age of Aquarius. We're in the Age of Aquarius. I know, of course, there was the famous song in the 60s. It's been coming. It's been, people have been waiting for this Age of Aquarius. What is it? And now they're saying that we're actually in the Age of Aquarius, or we're very close to this Age of Aquarius. What does that mean? So in astrologers, many astrologers, most of them, think that we are very close, either very close or we are already in the Age of Aquarius, which means it's supposed to be this golden age. This is when humanity takes control of the earth in a good way, for a change, in a positive way. We can take our destiny in our hands and expand our mindfulness and consciousness. Aquarius in astrology is the sign of the collective. It's the sign of sharing, of the greater good. And for me personally, it's yes, it's the sign of sharing knowledge and striving to be better in every way. So it's the good of the collective. So it's a collaboration. And even without going into, I'm not talking about saving the world or saving the planet, or even in the small, everyday, mundane sense. It's about working with others in a collaborative way. And so, for example, taking up projects and working together with other people, meeting like-minded people from all over the world, and do something together, build something together that can be then shared to the rest of the world, to anybody who can benefit from it. So it's also about connection. And Aquarius, the glyph of Aquarius, the symbol of Aquarius is the two waves, which of course symbolize water, but they can also symbolize electricity, the waves, the electric waves, the wavelengths, and so we can think about internet. We can think about technology, everything that is out in the air, Wi-Fi, because it's an air sign as well, and can be used to connect us, right? So this is what we're doing right now. I am sitting here in Scotland, and you can see me and you can listen to me, and we can share information, we can communicate, we can share ideas. Again, it's an air sign, so it's more about ideas, the theory, something more in the mind, in the brain, rather than more physical, like you would have in other astrological signs like Taurus, for example. So this is the good side. This is the higher expression of Aquarius, and this is what everybody is hoping for. Of course, we all want to go into a better time where we're all sharing, where we're all happy with each other, where we can be generous with each other, and when there is no inequality, social inequality or material inequality, where we can all have enough. This is the higher end of Aquarius, and this is, and that's why I call this episode Gemstone Remedies for the Aquarian Age, because my vision, what I am creating, hopefully, is knowledge, something that can benefit more people by using homeopathic gemstones and connecting them with the astrological weather, the astrological energies. So in case you're not familiar with the concept of ages, what is an age? What do we mean by age? So we know that astrology was a universal language for a long, long time. And our ancestors used the language of the stars for many, many things, for navigation, for travel, for trade, for agriculture. And so the dates that on the calendar year that were reference points for our ancestors were, of course, the solstice and the equinoxes. So there were these 4 reference points every year. So there is a thing called precessional zodiac and precessional age. So imagine that here's the Earth, and around the Earth there is this band of constellations. That's the zodiac, which is a procession. It literally means a procession of animals. And the precessional age is determined by the constellation, which constellation of the zodiac the sun is rising in at dawn on the spring equinox. And so each precessional age, because of the way that the Earth spins on its axis, each age is about 2100 years long. And so the precessional age goes from one constellation to the other in an anti-clockwise. And so right now we are supposed to be on the very end of the age of Pisces and on the brink, right on the cusp of the age of Aquarius. So the reason why it's not very precise is that, of course, the constellations are have different shapes, and there is no clear-cut boundary between one and the other. And so when one ends, one constellation ends, the other one begins. And this is why astrologers are not in complete agreement. Some astrologers say that we will not be in the age of Aquarius proper until maybe the year 2100. Others say that it's a matter of a couple of years and we're there. But basically, this is the way it works. These are the numbers in terms of years. And to give you an idea of the ages, different ages that we have gone through as humanity, we can start the earliest one that we can identify was the age of Leo, which was between 10,000 and 8,000 BC. And this is where they say that humanity started to discover their own individuality. This was the age where shamans and high priests started to appear, because humanity was still completely plugged in, connected to the universe, to the divine, but they were starting the process of, let's say, detachment, coming down, really incarnating, really becoming human, which includes the process of becoming detached and disconnected, if you like, from the divine. And when you look at the different ages that astrologers talk about, but also archaeologists, and there is also such a thing as archaeoastrology, which is very interesting. You see that the symbology, and that's all over the earth in every culture, reflects the constellation of that particular age. And so, for example, some archaeologists think that the Sphinx in Egypt was not built 2,500 years ago, but more likely 9,000 years ago, which was right in the middle of the age of Leo. And it's not a coincidence that the Sphinx has the body of a lion, and the face that it looks like the face of a pharaoh was actually made later during the age of the pharaohs. But originally, archaeologists think it was probably either the face of a woman or the face of a lioness. So just to give you an idea. And after that, we had the age of Cancer, which was between the year 8,000 to 6,000 BC. And that's when humanity discovered, became stable, stopped maybe wandering, the hunter-gatherers, and started to build homes and discovered the joys of building homes and settle down in one place. And this is when the matriarchy started, when women had the power, in the sense of they being the most important in the family, in society. The priestesses were still the link between humans and the divine. And Cancer is the sign of motherhood. It's the sign of protection. It's the sign of settling down and emotions. And so it's very, very apt that this is what humanity went through. And this is the period where you find all these goddesses, these stone little statuettes of goddesses, who are always female goddesses of fertility, and they're very round, they're very rotund. So they emphasize the idea of fertility, of womanhood, of motherhood. So this was definitely the age of Cancer. And we find this kind of statuettes and these symbolism absolutely everywhere, no matter where you go, which country, it was absolutely everywhere. And then through the zodiac, we had the age of Gemini, which is where the first cities started to be built and the first bigger settlements. And we have trade, because of course Gemini is ruled by Mercury, who is the god of trade. And also we have languages developing. We have written languages. The alphabet is being developed. Communication. Mercury is about communication, idea, trade, skills, art. And then we start to recognize something that's a bit more familiar as we come closer to our times, the age of the bull, the age of Taurus. And this is where we see the Minoans, we see all these myths of the Minotaur, the Tauromachia, the bullfights. We have these amazing Greek vases with all these decorations, and they're all about bullfights or about acrobats doing somersaults on bulls. But there's bulls everywhere, and there's gods and deities look like bulls. There's the bull head. And this is, again, a time of being really integrated, really incarnated, integrated into the earth, into nature, agriculture, really material, physical things. Even in the Old Testament, in the Bible, we see the calf. When Moses comes down from the mountain, and he sees that people were waiting for him, and they were tired of waiting for Moses, and they had already built another god, and that was the golden calf. So we have this bull symbology absolutely everywhere in every religion, the bull, the cow in India, and so on. And then the age of Aries, and that's where the patriarchy starts, the age of war, the age of great civilizations who were obviously very strong military civilization. They were conquering. So we have the Egyptians, the Assyrians, the Babylonians, the Romans. So that's a big age of big civilization and military and brute force, because Aries is about strength. It's ruled by Mars, the god of war. And so, yes, great civilizations, but also a lot of fighting, and the Iron Age. So that's when women started to go down a little bit in society in terms of importance. And then in the 0 year AD, that's when the age of Pisces, which we're just coming out of, started. And that's the Christian age. And guess what? There's fish symbolism absolutely everywhere in this age. Jesus's disciples were fishermen. The fish was the symbol of the early Christians. The fish symbolism, water, baptism is absolutely everywhere. And Pisces is the age of sacrifice, sacrificing yourself for others, of turning the other cheek, of prayer, of ascension, of communication with the divine. This is what we've had in the last 2,000 years or so, and we are just coming out of it. And what's next for us is the age of Aquarius. And people are saying, yes, finally. So I think this is a good time for a break. And after the break, I will go right into the age of Aquarius in more depth.
OMTimes TV. In my book, Gifts from the Earth, I illustrate the healing properties of 12 gemstone remedies. You will see real case studies from my practice and dive into the wonderful world of gemstone remedies. This is a clear and practical guide on how to use gemstones in homeopathy. Whether you are an experienced practitioner or beginner, you will find this book a fascinating read. Gifts from the Earth is available on Amazon. Imagine becoming a super influencer. Reinvent yourself, invest in your brand, and then manifest your success with a robust spheric approach. OMTimes Media and Broadcasting offers a unique and multifaceted way to become the spiritual and conscious influencer you deserve to be by putting your message across our powerful platform with its proven record of integrity and excellence. Through our produced shows, OMTimes offers the opportunity to become a social media TV personality, a radio show host, an OMTimes magazine columnist, and a syndicated podcaster, all in one shot. By live streaming your show on OMTimes TV and broadcasting it across the extensive OMTimes radio and TV networks, you become more than a host. You become an ambassador and a force for positive change. OMTimes. Open yourself to the possibilities.
If I could be you, and you could be me for just 1 hour. If we could find a way to get inside each other's minds. Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes. Well, before you abuse, criticize and accuse, walk a mile in my shoes.
Hi, welcome back. So we were talking about the age of Aquarius. So finally, we're going to be in this age of Aquarius. So what is Aquarius? So Aquarius is an air sign, as I mentioned, and it's the sign of reason and science and innovation. The ruler of Aquarius is Uranus. And if you look at the symbol of Uranus, it looks like one of those old antennas, TV antennas, from the first TVs. It's very futuristic, I would say. And so again, we have this idea of electricity, of waves, of frequency. And at the higher expression of Aquarius, we have technology that helps everybody, and we can see that it's already happening. We have yes, AI. It can be controversial. I mean, remember that everything we see, everything in this universe, in this dimension, has a polarity, and so we can choose the higher expression or the lower expression. And so technology can be beautiful. Internet is beautiful. It's incredibly useful. It can free us in so many ways because it's quick. We can transmit ideas and information so much faster. And at the same time, we can decide what kind of information. It can be useful information. It can be beautiful things that we can do with internet, but there is also the low end of that. And so it can also be misused or used to do harm or to spread negative things that affect people in a negative way. And so science always has this double-edged sword. But the higher end is that we can be liberated. Science can be liberating. Ideas can be liberating. The other lower end that we need to be maybe conscious of is that, yes, technology can be amazing, can be freeing us from do maybe hard labor or hard physical work so that we can use our time for higher purposes, for meditation, for expanding our mindfulness, our consciousness, helping each other. But it can also be used to disconnect from one another. We need to be mindful that this technology becomes too dehumanizing. And we just end up, sitting with the goggles on our face and playing in a virtual reality and becoming completely disconnected from each other and from ourselves, from our own humanity. So there are these, as I say, polarities that we have to be mindful of. But like I said, astrology is a map. Okay, it's not the business of predictive astrology, like tomorrow you will meet a tall, dark stranger and he will be the love of your life. That is pop astrology. That is not really what astrology was born for. Astrology is a map. It shows you the map of the energies that are happening right now. And like every map, you can see the different routes, that you want to get to a certain destination. And you can choose which way you want to go. And you can choose the easy way or the harder way, the scenic route. That's more interesting. Sometimes the journey is more interesting than the destination itself. And so, yes, we have to exercise our free will. But like I say, astrology is a really useful tool to understand what's going on. And if we know, for example, our time of birth, it's very easy these days to pull out a birth chart from the internet, from Google, and it's free. And we can see where we are in relation to the map of the universe. Like, when you go to a new city and you see the map outside of the station or the information center, and it says you are here. So you are here, and you want to hopefully to get to the highest expression of the current energies, astrological energy, or you want to make the most of them, or you want to understand what your purpose here in this life is, and astrology can help you with that. But at the same time, we can also use gemstone remedies homeopathically to help us even more, to get us there. I'm not saying faster, but with a better sense of purpose, with a better self-awareness. And this is the reason why I am so keen to put them together, like I said, in a synergetic tool that can really empower you, because it's about self-discovery, self-knowledge. And once you have that, then you can share it with others. And once you know what you're doing and why you're here, then it will be easier to help other people, to help each other. So that would be my vision. And the connection between gemstones, crystals, and the planets, like I said, it's a very, very ancient one. Vedic astrology is thousands of years old, and there is a lot of literature on the connection between planets, constellations, and specific gemstones, because, like I said, it's a vibrational frequency match. So, for example, the sun is the planet of the self, and the ruby is the remedy, the gemstone remedy that is definitely connected with the sun. Whereas the moon, we have moonstone, we have pearls. It's more about emotion. It's about water. It's about it's the feminine side of the universe. So the sun and the moon, again, it's a universal symbolism. The yin and the yang, the force, the strength, and what is perceived to be weaker, the feminine side, what they call, even astrophysicists call the weak force, and which is not weak at all. It's just more, it's just not as visible let's say, than as the force, the strength of the sun. Mercury is about communication. So remedies like emerald, for example, can be related to that. Mars, the aggressiveness, the passion, the warlike mythology. So any gemstone that is red, like red jasper, for example, carnelian, these are the gemstone remedies that we can use. Jupiter is more linked with luck, with money, with abundance, and so citrine quartz is perfect for that. So as you can see, the connections have been there, have been made. People have joined the dots ages ago already. But what does it mean? What does it mean when we're having a complex astrological weather? Because, okay, so I just listed the single connection, so the single connection between a planet and a star sign. But what about what's happening right now, which is what happens all the time, because the planets move all the time. There are conjunctions, there are aspects of the planets that are changing all the time. So, for example, recently, the nodes have shifted. And just to put it very simply, the nodes are not planets, they are points that are calculated mathematically in the sky, and they do shift every 18 months or so. And so right now we have just started to have the North Node in Aries and the South Node in Libra. And the North Node is where we're going as a collective. And the South Node is what we're leaving behind. So we're going towards Aries. So what is Aries? Again, Aries is action. It's leadership. It's pioneering. It's new ideas. So this is the high expression. We have to be mindful of the lower expression, which is just pure aggression, war, anger in our personal life. But what does that mean for us as individuals? And this is what I want to work on with the group in my next course, because everybody will have their own individual birth chart. And so depending on that, we can actually see how these energies are playing out and how they're playing out collectively and personally. And what can help us? What can help us? Remember, the goal is always to reach the higher expression of the current energy. So what type of remedy could help us to get there, to get to the higher expression of these energies? Now, there's different ways that we can get that information. We can meditate together, group meditation. We can certainly learn about, well, the first thing would be learn about gemstone remedies in homeopathy. In homeopathy, what do they look like? What do they do? Why are they different from other remedies, from herbal remedies, plant remedies, flower remedies, animal remedies? Why are they special? And which ones can help us individually? That will depend on each individual's journey And we can check each individual's journey by looking at the birth chart, and then learning about the gemstone remedies, and through meditation and through sharing information with each other, we can learn, and we can pick the remedy that fits our needs individually, and explore the effects, explore the results. And like I said, it's about the journey. It's an exploration. And I want to say that it's not something that has been done before in homeopathy. And I was looking for literature on this. I was looking for inspiration. I was looking for references, guidance, but I found that there is absolutely nothing. So while there is literature on the connection between crystals and the planets, there is nothing at all in terms of homeopathic remedies made from crystals and the planets, and how to weave them in and make them work together. So in the spirit of really the North Node in Aries, which, like I said, it's about pioneering, it's about new ideas, it's about let's start something new, and leave behind the Libra, which is, yes, it's let's not rock the boat, let's stay, the same, let's not do very much, let's be diplomatic about it. This is more about, let's break the mold. This is not classical homeopathy from my point of view as homeopath. This is something that is new. Again, Aquarius. It's also the sign of the rebel a little bit. Uranus is the rebel. At the lower expression, it can be the criminal, somebody who break the rules. You can break the rules for the greater good, but you can also break the rules to rob a bank. So breaking the mold, doing something new, and see what happens. This is what I really meant at the beginning by gemstones in homeopathy for the Aquarian Age. Also, the concept of running a course, teaching, which is something that I really, really love. But it's also something that I want to change the paradigm of. So teaching usually means, there's somebody running the course, and it's top down, giving information, and people at the other end receiving the information. I really like the interactive part. I like the everybody learning from each other. There is a guideline, and then there is no fixed expectation, because everybody will bring their own individuality, their own experience, their own ideas, and we're all sharing, and we're all benefiting because of that. This is something that I experience a lot of during the provings, when we do provings of new remedies. There are no expectations, because nobody knows how the proving will turn out, what kind of results we will have, and that's the purpose of the proving, is to find out, and that's the exciting part. And each prover brings their own experience and their own personality and their own ideas, and everything gets collected together, and that's the result. So it's a completely it's really pure teamwork. It's literally teamwork, which is very Aquarian. It's everybody at the same level. There is no hierarchy as such. There is no high priest or high priestess or expert, and everybody is there and just to receive passively the information. It's really about experiencing together. So this is really, this was my big brainwave. But it's something that is going to happen, and it's going to start in September. And I'm not going to do this alone because, as I said from the beginning, this is a project. It's a collaborative project. And so I'm going to work with a professional astrologer so that we're going to put together our respective experiences and expertise, offer this information to a group, but after that, it's going to be completely interactive, and it's going to be a journey of exploration. Every session is going to be different because every session is going to be according to the planetary movements. So it's going to be monthly, and then we're going to explore, learn about what's happening astrologically. We're going to learn about gemstone remedies, what they do, what their healing properties are, and how to use them for the highest purpose, for the greater good, for the collective, and for our personal journey. So like I said, it's going to start in September. I don't have the dates fixed yet, set, but I'm going to put all the information in my newsletters. And if you want to subscribe to my newsletter, it's free. And you can do that by going to my website, homeopathyheal.co.uk, so you can keep up to date. We're also going to do provings, group provings during this time. And the next proving is going to be mica, which has just been made into a remedy. And again, this is a brand new remedy. It does not exist anywhere else. I picked it up from the homeopathic pharmacy here locally just yesterday. And it's ready to be proved. I already have some students, some volunteers, and we're going to get together, but we can do that during this journey. Starting in September, it's going to be a 12-month journey, so one monthly session going with the phases of the moon and all the other planetary movements. And so it's hopefully it's going to be interesting. I hope it's going to be interesting. If you want to contribute to the proving, or if you're interested in this course, or if you have any questions, you can send me an email at info@homeopathyheal.co.uk. Remember that I'm on Facebook, Homeopathy Heals. And yes, that's everything I have for today. I hope that you are as excited as I am, and I hope that I made, I hope I was clear in explaining what I'm trying to do. And I will see you next time. Have a great weekend.
This show is not intended to diagnose, prevent, or treat any diseases or illnesses. The information presented within cannot substitute the advice of your physician or other trained healthcare professionals. The content of this show is for educational purposes only and is the expressed opinion of the show host and guests.